Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for the academic procession and remain standing? Good evening. For the 391st time, candidates for baccalaureate degrees from the Pennsylvania State University have gathered to celebrate their commencement. All are in their places. While the day is one of joy and celebration, the commencement ceremony itself calls for dignity and decorum. This is one of the great days of a lifetime for our graduates, their families, and friends, and therefore we ask everyone's cooperation in according this ceremony the quiet respect it deserves. These exercises for the spring semester are hereby called to order.
We are now convened for the spring 2019 commencement for undergraduate degree candidates of the College of Engineering. I am Justin Schwartz, Harold and Inga Marcus Dean of the College of Engineering. I welcome each and every one of you. This ceremony is patterned after a ritual which has been repeated through the long history of higher education. The robes we wear and the symbols of the ceremony are from the Middle Ages. The mace is a symbol of the authority of the university. But the spirit of commencement is modern, is always new, and is always focused on the future. Please stand as we open the ceremony with our national anthem, led by Sean Toso, who will be accompanied by Center Brass.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, the Honorable Charles F. Bolden, Jr., former National Aeronautics and Space Administration Administrator, a retired United States Marine Corps Major General, and a former astronaut. In this role, he was the Administrator of NASA from July 2009 until January 2017. Bolden's 34-year career with the Marine Corps included 14 years as a member of NASA's astronaut office. After joining the office in 1980, he traveled into orbit 4 times aboard the space shuttle between 1986 and 1994, commanding 2 of the missions and piloting 2 others. Today, Bolden serves as the president and CEO of the Bolden Consulting Group. He also serves as an independent director of the Lord Corporation, Atlas Air Worldwide Holdings, and Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina. Bolden earned a Bachelor of Science degree from the U.S. Naval Academy and a Master of Science degree from the University of Southern California. The title of his address this evening is Humanity's Journey of Discovery. Honorable Bolden.
Good evening. The good thing about me being here now is you get this over with, and then you can enjoy the rest of the evening. The bad thing is I'm here, so bear with me. What an honor it is for me to be here tonight. For some of you may know, it's my very first ever time coming to State College and to the campus of Pennsylvania State University, and I am quite impressed and quite honored to be here. See, I'm a graduate of the Naval Academy, and so as I went through the Naval Academy back in my day, Penn State was one of our arch rivals, and I had no desire to ever come here because we almost never beat Penn State in football, never beat Penn State in wrestling, and today our women have a hard time beating Penn State in soccer, rugby, and lacrosse. So one of these days, maybe. I'm especially honored to be here with the class of 2019. My deepest appreciation goes out to Dr. Amy Pritchard for her diligence and her persistence in leading the effort to get me at long last to University Park. To the faculty and the staff, to all the parents, the grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, children, grandchildren, and friends who are with us, it's an honor to share this very special evening with all of you. I also want to thank 2 student Sherpers, if you will, who were responsible for getting me from place to place during my visit here, Jason Cornelius and Joshua Mooney. Thank you very much for putting up with me. To the class of 2019, this is actually my favorite part of the evening, and I get it out of the way real quick. Congratulations, you did it. You can say yes. For the parents, I think that is in accordance with the decorum of the evening because we haven't started calling names yet. With your new Penn State diploma comes a piece of very significant legacy. 5 of your predecessors made their way to NASA to become astronauts, beginning with the late Paul P.J. Weiss, who was one of my mentors and very dear friends from the class of '54, and the first black astronaut to go to space, Dr. Guion Bluford, class of '64. That list now includes Robert Sinker, class of '70, with whom I flew my first space shuttle mission aboard the shuttle Columbia in January of 1986. James Polachek, class of '85, and now the most recent addition, doctoral candidate Zena Cardman, who is a member of the class of 2017 astronaut candidates, or ASCANs, as they are affectionately called in Houston. So for those of you who know Zena, when she comes back to campus or you see her, say, what's life as an ASCAN really like? Along with many other now famous Penn State alums, they've raised families, raised the bar in their respective fields, and at times raised hell. But they've all represented this university incredibly well. Just imagine what you, the class of 2019, will do. Tonight, class of 2019, you're going to cross a bridge from academic life here on the campus to responsibility for leadership of our great nation. This is only the first bridge you'll cross in your young lives. It's the graduation bridge. It's a bridge between classroom and career, a bridge between present and future. You're crossing this bridge at a pivotal moment in human history and in the history of our nation. Our planet has a big, big, big help wanted sign on it. Trust me, I've seen it from space. Well, not really, but it sounds good. And we're counting on your generation. We're counting on you to cure the previously incurable, to tackle big challenges like the changing climate, to teach us to live as one people on this beautiful planet. We're counting on you to lead humanity's journey of discovery. You're part of the generation that will travel to an asteroid, that will walk on the surface of Mars, and yes, will return home safely. As you prepare to cross the first bridge, I have a few pieces of advice for you. The first concerns not just where you'll go, but how you'll get there. Although this is my first visit to College Park and to Penn State, I feel right at home here, or State Park and Penn State. College Park is another university. I just wanted to know if you all would catch that. And I noticed there were no barbs coming from the back or no balls of paper coming up. So I think I'm okay now. You know, I feel pretty much at home here because I've had an opportunity to spend a whole day here now. And because even though I grew up many miles away in South Carolina, I attended, as I said earlier, a long ago major rival in football and wrestling, the United States Naval Academy. That rivalry has long since faded away, but in my time, it was really important to us. I have long admired your competitive spirit, your quest for excellence, and your dedication to the spirit to serve. I am awed, for example, by Penn State's comprehensive healthcare system, where you care for more than 1 million patients a year. And I am truly inspired by Thon. I had to look that up. It's the world's largest student-run philanthropic organization that raised $10.6 million this year. And more than $168 million since 1977 to benefit pediatric cancer research. And if you did that here as a student, just think what you can do when you get out where you've got real money. So don't forget what you did here and make that be a lifelong project of yours. That's a worthy example for all of us to keep in mind and something of which you should be eternally proud as you embark on your various careers. I can tell you that as the NASA administrator, my top priority was our people, my people. It's a great source of pride that at the same time we're reaching new heights in space and aeronautics, we were also rated the #1 best place to work in the federal government 6 years running. When you're a great place to work, the best and the brightest want to come and work for you and with you. What's more, they tend to want to keep working with you too. So keep that in mind when you're off running your own companies. So my first piece of advice is to keep in mind that your success is not only about the work you do, but how you do it. It's also about with whom you work. The late legendary Pittsburgh Steelers, and I realize this is across the state, okay? So if you're not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I kind of was. The legendary late Pittsburgh Steelers coach, Chuck Noll, once said, and I quote, "I can't tell you how much you gain, how much progress you can make by working together as a team, by helping one another. You get much more done that way. If there's anything the Steelers in the 70s epitomized, I think it was that teamwork," unquote. I'll attest from my firsthand experience that this holds true whether you're leading Marines, flying combat missions, or piloting a mission in space. None of us would be here were it not for the shoulders on which we stand. So my second piece of advice is, don't let a single day, not one single day, the rest of your lives pass that you don't approach someone who means a lot to you, and thank them for just being themselves and for helping you be you. With this in mind, graduates, I hope you'll join me in showing appreciation for your team, the parents and grandparents who cared for you and got you here, your family members and friends who have stood by you and traveled near and far to be with you tonight. Join me in a standing ovation and a round of applause for them. Thank you. In my life, I've been blessed to go to space 4 times and to travel to nearly every corner of our planet. Nothing I've seen compares to the awe of looking into the eyes of my children and grandchildren. If you choose to start a family, love and care for them every single day as your loved ones have cared for you. Don't listen to anyone who says you can't do something or you don't belong. That brings me to my 3rd piece of advice. It's a lesson my parents taught me and my wife, and I will try to teach our kids and grandkids. Be bold, be fearless, dream big, and by all means, don't listen to anyone who tells you you can't do something or you don't belong, especially for the women in this class and the minorities. Don't waste Don't waste 1 second of your time trying to explain to some knucklehead why you happen to be where you are. Don't try to explain to someone your identity. Don't feel that you have to justify why you are there. This applies to the workplace or anywhere else. In my younger days, my dream was to attend the United States Naval Academy and serve my country, just as my father and my uncles had done in World War II, when African Americans had to fight for the right to serve in our armed forces. Growing up during the days of segregation here in the U.S., it was an uphill battle. When I came of age, no one in my South Carolina congressional delegation would provide an appointment nor nomination to the Academy as was required for admission. So I wrote President Lyndon B. Johnson asking for help. Now, I wasn't eligible for a presidential appointment, and I didn't think I'd get one, but I wrote anyway. I never got a response, but that possibly led to Congressman William Dawson of Chicago, Illinois, providing me the appointment I needed to be accepted to the Naval Academy. Representative Dawson himself was a veteran of World War I and only the 3rd African American elected to Congress in the 20th century. After a 34-year career in the Marine Corps, I had the honor of serving as administrator of NASA under the nation's first black president. So don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do. Now, when I say dream big, that doesn't mean you'll always know what the future holds. Growing up, I never conceived that someday I'd become a Marine Corps jet pilot, let alone pilot the space shuttle. When I finally made the decision to apply for the astronaut program, I was 34 years old and I was serving as a Marine Corps test pilot. Before that, I had never even thought about being an astronaut. I figured it was just out of the question. So my 4th piece of advice is never stop reaching for new heights, even if you don't know exactly what they look like or what they will be. This applies both to you personally and to your generation as a whole. There's a big handoff that's about to take place, bigger than the Nittany Lions' Trace McSorley handing off to Saquon Barkley. I'm talking about the handoff from my generation to yours. Your generation is going to take the things that people of my generation started and just have not made come true, and you're going to make them your own. Remember I talked about that help wanted sign? It's your generation, each and every one of you in the class of 2019 sitting here tonight that's going to provide that help, that's going to prove something President Kennedy said, and I quote, no problem of human destiny is beyond human beings, end quote. I want to invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. Go ahead and humor me. Close your eyes for just a moment and imagine a future where human beings and robots work together to pioneer Mars and the solar system. Today, we're farther along on humanity's journey to Mars than ever before in human history. And it's your generation that's going to complete this journey. You're going back to the moon, and you're going to land human beings on Mars. Think about that for a moment. And as you have your eyes closed, picture yourself in that first Martian crew. Picture the feet in the first boots on the red planet. And keep in mind, those feet could be sitting in this audience tonight. Okay, you can open your eyes. I call your generation the space generation because of the expansive way you look at our world, our universe, and the possibilities they contain. You've come of age in a world where Skyping and FaceTime with someone half a world away is just a routine part of life. That used to be stuff of science fiction. You live in a world where astronauts from many nations fly together in space every single day. In fact, if you have relatives in your family who are 18 years of age or younger, they've never taken a single breath, not one single breath, when human beings from multiple nations have not been orbiting our planet at 250 miles on the International Space Station. Not one single breath. That used to be science fiction too. In 2015, we sent the New Horizons spacecraft past the Pluto system. When that happened, the United States became the first and only nation to have flown by or visited every single planet and dwarf planet in the solar system. We're only a couple years away from sending the James Webb Space Telescope 1 million miles into space, which will open the door to finding undiscovered planets and galaxies. Already, the Hubble Space Telescope, which at 29 years old and going strong, is older than many of you, is giving scientists enough new data and discovery to fill the entire Library of Congress each and every year. We're moving beyond the limits of our own imagination. Already, we've located Earth-like planets orbiting stars in other solar systems. A child born this year will never have known a time when commercial companies were not regularly carrying cargo to space, or human beings weren't living and working aboard the International Space Station. In the last year, we've flown commercial astronauts on suborbital flights into space, and we may very well launch the first commercial orbital spacecraft into space carrying U.S. astronauts from Florida's Space Coast before the end of this year. Perhaps your own children and grandchildren will never know a time when human beings haven't been living on Mars. You might have heard President Obama and President Trump declare, we're pushing out into the solar system not just to visit, but to stay. This isn't science fiction. It's your generation's future. But these achievements don't come without risk and danger. This brings me to my final piece of advice. Don't ever, ever, ever be afraid of failure. Even the very best of us get lost and falter sometimes, and anyone who tells you they know exactly where they're headed probably isn't being straight with you. Graduates, while no one can tell you for certain where our world is headed in the next few years to come, I believe that your generation, with your passion to succeed, will take us to a better place. A place worthy of the planet I've been blessed to see from space, where its serenity and its lack of political borders belies the truth of what sometimes happens here on the ground. As you cross this first bridge, the graduation bridge, into your future, I fully expect that you'll build this better world. And in the finest Penn State tradition, you'll do it by dancing, dreaming, discovering, drawing, inventing, creating, thinking, playing, writing, running, healing, helping, and imagining your way into the future. You will make this world better because you are Penn State. Go Nittany Lions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bolden. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we turn to the awarding of the degrees. The College of Engineering is awarding 1,000 445 baccalaureate degrees today. Yeah. I would like to call on Penn State's Executive Vice President and Provost, Dr. Nicholas Jones.
Thank you, Dean Schwartz, and congratulations to everyone in the College of Engineering for another year of excellence in teaching, research, and service. Mr. Bolden, thank you for your remarks. However, I'm not sure he's convinced you were listening, so we need to show him. We are! They were listening. As many of you know, the legal corporate body of Penn State is its Board of Trustees. By our charter, this body is given final responsibility for the government, welfare, and all interests pertaining to our university. At this time, I call upon Trustee Michael Hoschel to authorize the conferring of degrees during this ceremony. Mr. Hoschel was elected to the Board of Trustees effective July 2017 as a student trustee after being nominated by the Student Trustee Selection Group. A nuclear engineering major, he is former chair of the University Park Allocation Committee and member of the Penn State chapter of the American Nuclear Society. We are very pleased that he is with us today, and I am confident that he will give me that authority, because if he doesn't, he won't graduate. Trustee Hoschel.
Thank you. Good evening. This is a time for celebration and excitement, and I am humbled to be here with you all today on behalf of the Board of Trustees and also as a fellow graduate. Today represents a tremendous accomplishment for each of you, so from all of us at Penn State, I extend a sincere congratulations. And now I turn to my official duty. Dr. Jones, by virtue of the authority vested in and as approved by the Board of Trustees of the Pennsylvania State University, I authorize you, as a designee of the President, to confer on each of these candidates the degree earned as certified by the appropriate college faculty and dean.
Thank you, Trustee Hoschel, for the authorization of degrees for these candidates assembled. Before we proceed to the conferral of degrees, please note that Penn State is now recognizing our graduates who are actively serving, veterans, and graduates of our ROTC programs with the special red, white, and blue honor cords for their service and sacrifices. At this time, I would like to ask all graduates who are boarding on military service and veteran students who have served our country to please stand. And before you sit down, I would like you to be joined by those in the audience who are veterans or active duty members of the military. Will you please also stand? Thank you all so much. You may be seated. I now call upon the Associate Dean for Education. I'll try that again. I now call upon the Associate Dean for Education and Graduate Professional Programs, Dr. Peter Butler, to preside over the conferring of the degrees.
Nobody can say I don't make a big entrance. Thank you, Dean Schwartz. Will the degree candidates from the College of Engineering please rise? That's you, yeah. Dr. Jones, I am pleased to present these worthy and approved candidates.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Butler. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Science in the prescribed major in engineering or in computer science, or the Bachelor of Architectural Engineering, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Congratulations. You may now transfer the tassel from the right side to the left side of your cap. And please be seated.
I want to address a comment to the graduating seniors and their families and friends to ask for your cooperation. We will be calling each graduate to the platform to be recognized. I would like to convey a gentle reminder to our graduates that all students are expected to remain on the floor until the conclusion of the ceremony, out of respect for the importance and dignity of this occasion. Remaining to share equally in every graduate's moment says much about who we are as a community of Penn Staters, and is a true demonstration of we are. Okay. Most of you have traveled many miles today to hear one name, and each name will be heard if you all hold your applause and cheers to the very end. I assure you that there will be opportunity to cheer and applaud later on. In consideration of everyone who is here today to honor their special student, we ask that you please refrain from applause, cheers, and other noise making until all members have crossed the platform. Then we will applaud their accomplishments together. Our graduates have worked long and hard to earn their degrees, and each one deserves the opportunity to be recognized by their families and friends, and to have them hear clearly their name being called. Graduates, the University Marshals will escort you to the stage to be recognized. Please bring with you the card that you received when you checked in. I would now like to call upon and thank our nomenclator, Dr. Edward Christopher, who will introduce individual graduates by department. I now call on Dr. Amy Pritchett, Head of Aerospace Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in that major.
Representing Aerospace Engineering is Student Marshal Gracie Ryan, escorted by Faculty Marshal Sven Smits, Associate Professor of Aerospace Engineering. Gracie is the daughter of Todd and Julie Ryan of Chicora, Pennsylvania. Gracie has interned with NASA Ames Research Center, developing methods for visualizing potential collision protocols between unmanned vehicles, an important problem to solve. Following graduation, Gracie will join the National Air and Space Intelligence Unit as an aerospace engineer. Congratulations, Gracie.
Also receiving degrees in aerospace engineering are Michal Morgan Vo, Alessandra Reina, Todd Bentley, Nathan O'Brien, Vincent Donguy, Tyler Wolf, Ashley Brandon, Emily Peters, Nolan Bricey, Eric Yang, Zhenda Li, Vincent Feng, Ru Yang, Nicholas Tabinski, Austin Mittich, Clint Shirk, Colton McMullen, Utsav Shaw, Natalie Babick, Kartik Singhal, Joseph Whitreich, Jacob Swigert, Aldaberto Morales Jr., Tyler Meehan, Michael Croydon, Zachary Rawpaw Learn, Nicholas Pytel, Jacob Taylor, Joseph Keselowski, Ter Schumann, Abdullah Daher, Tanish Mayer, Brendan Yu, Vineet Champanarea, Alexander Riemann, Luke Dion, Mustafa Alam, Sean Coleman, Zachary Keene, Connor Gaffney, Samuel White, Anthony Siavada, Igor Kobzarenko, Dylan Marlin Palm, Timothy Chikala, Joseph D'Imperio, Connor Boston, Dorish Wynn, Alec Proideto, Jared Senerchia, Eric Klazowski, John Drury, Sydney Pellegrini, Maria McQuaid, Sabrina Pellegrini, Brady McDonough, Jacob Bancroft, Matthew Littler, Eric Crisp, Thomas Mitchnock, John Buckley, Reed McDonough, Ricardo Braga Noguera Branco, Vignesh Ratnankumar, Meena Nusser, Tyler Gerhold, Christian Stair, Nicholas Stawinski, Theodore Colnan, Ethan Ambler, Tyler Trimble, Adam Chesky, Russell Strawmeyer, Christian Sherek, Tanea Sinha, Christopher Nickerson, John Bamonte III, Kyle Everham, Josiah Mooney, Timothy Walsh, Chase Thatcher, Sarah Jinka, Melissa Rudolph, Lauren Purcell, Sushitha Nama, Natalia Negai, Nathan Earhart, Torin Martutoris, Brandon Hagel, Sean Scruger, Benjamin Steratori, Andrew Miller, Ryan Kimmich, Brett Altland, Matthew Skiba, Michael Leisman, Jack Lindenberger, Min-Jae Yu, Thomas McElrath, Ryan Blessington, Ralph DeLamo, Robert Brose, Matthew Schaffelmeyer, Mitchell Rosen, Matthew Gunter, Gary Warner Jr., Tyler Farah, Antonio Junta, Matthew Skutnicki, Sean Herati, Wei Cheng Xu.
Please join me in recognizing all the aerospace engineering graduates. I now call upon Dr. Sez Adamtürkter, Department Head of Architectural Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in that major.
Representing Architectural Engineering is Student Marshal Abby Severn, escorted by Faculty Marshal Ryan Sonoski, Assistant Teaching Professor of Architectural Engineering. Abby is the daughter of Michaeline Severn of Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. While at Penn State, Abby completed internships with HGA Architects, Atlantic Engineering Services, and PennDOT, where she assisted with design reviews and bridge inspections. Abby is both a Leonard Scholar and a Schreier Scholar. In addition to her Bachelor of Architectural Engineering, she will be receiving her Master of Architectural Engineering through the Integrated Undergraduate-Graduate Program. Following graduation, Abby will join Martin & Martin Consulting as a structural engineer in training. Congratulations, Abby.
Also receiving degrees in architectural engineering are Ryan Canner, Jacob Kleindl, Camden Brown, Richard Goditis Jr., Robert Dawson, Stephen Launati, Colin Gozick, Thomas Bruno, Michael Connor, Mitchell Seltzer, Emily Blessner, Nadine Rajab, Yameleth Orduna, Ahmed Al-Judibi, Taylor Linus, Tori Roberts, Connor Smith, Tanner DiCrapio, Kyle Tarvis, Caleb Myers, Elizabeth Dixon, Morgan Flynn, Kylie Scovern, Alyssa Anselmo, Christina Kramer, Fairuz Alawami, Xiaoru Lin, Eric Anderson, Benjamin Hess, Jessica Thompson, Courtney Melvin, Caitlin Petrosky, Margaret DeWitt, Rachel Shaw, Yiwan Zhang, Yiyao Jia, Minju Lu, Carol Chen, Emily Bogert, Austin McClymans, Kathleen Witt, C.E. Gu, Xiaojing Zhang, Wei-Yu Peng, Jaiki Li, Shangmi Shte, Derek Gombos, Antonio Thomas, Stephen Gaspar, Joanne Alerte, Uthe Mudgal, Miranda Weitzel, Perry Ruta, Sean Parahus, Jordan O'Donnell, Eric Ivanore, Madeline Giovannioli, Alexander Gubler, Rebecca Brott, Austin Heidelbaugh, Elena Gowdy, Allison Lanehart, Lauren Donatelli, Amanda Green, Daniel Marshall, Nicholas Hagan, Taylor Gulick, Lauren Lesinowskowski, Drew Creamer, Jackson Hill, Matthew Moore, Samuel Zartman, Andrew Stanton, Sierra Scott, Logan Aument, Kevin Fitzgerald.
Please join me in recognizing all the architectural engineering graduates. I now call on Dr. Paul Heineman, Department Head of Agricultural and Biological Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in biological engineering.
Presenting biological engineering is Student Marshal Andrew May, escorted by Faculty Marshal Virendra Puri, Distinguished Professor of Agricultural and Biological Engineering. Andrew is the son of Brian and Lori May of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Andrew participated in 3 research projects at Penn State focused on bacterial resistance, tree fruit disease, and plant viruses. He also served as president of the Alpha Epsilon Biological Engineering Honor Society and spent a semester studying at Monash University in Melbourne, Australia. Following graduation, Andrew will pursue a graduate degree in agricultural and biological engineering at Penn State. Congratulations, Andrew.
That's what I meant, biomedical engineering. Also receiving degrees in biomedical engineering are
I guess biological, I guess.
I beg your pardon. Also receiving degrees in biomedical engineering.
Biological.
Biological engineering. The degree will still work. Hussein Al-Daigami, Nelson Zukis, Joseph Marin, Alyssa Innes, Ian Powell, Sarah Burke, Maximilian Strass, Philip McGurk, Ryan Kramer, Jacob Steidinger, Eric Albaugh, Olivia Morozko, Molly Laurie, Caitlin Schiffer, Connor Donahue, Shane Lutton, Annalise Long, Laura Lutz, Shannon Jacob, Matthew Klein, Nathan Jones, Noah Sponseller, Harry Hiley Gurgle, Quinlan Chen, Nicole Rella, Simran Soni, Juliana Suvorov, Hannah Lines, Christopher Russell, Christopher West, William McCreevy, John Kelly, Tyler Reimer, Zachary Moll, Michael Burns, Yano Shade Alexander, Alexander DeCoste.
Please join me in recognizing all of the biological engineering graduates. I now call on Dr. Cheng Dong, Department Head of Biomedical Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in that major.
Representing biomedical engineering is Student Marshal Noah Robinson, escorted by Faculty Marshal William Hancock, Professor of Biomedical Engineering. Noah is son of Michael and Jody Robinson of Williamsville, New York. While at Penn State, Noah completed 2 internships, one at the Delphi Automotive, improving testing procedures, and one at the Stryker Orthopedics, designing ankle implement cut guides, and developing a quality control system for new customer products. Noah is a Schreier Scholar, earning dual undergraduate degrees in biomedical and mechanical engineering, as well as a Master's of Science degree in bioengineering through the Integrated Undergraduate Graduate Program. Following graduations, Noah will join Stryker Orthopedics as an Associate Project Engineer. Congratulations, Noah.
Also receiving degrees in biomedical engineering, Diego Caban Rivera, Julian Warner, Gretchen Hiller, Constance Gersel, Cody Kubicki, Nathaniel Graham, Hailey Jiang, Colby Geary, Kevin Godsick, Lisi Vink Lanus, Sarah Ellen Geckel, Alexis Morgan Savannah Holmes, Gabby Schwartz, Catherine Blankmeyer, Cecilia Richardson, Kara Spearson, Julia Minakowski, Heather Yost, Sheridan Lees, L. Tyler Williams, Christopher Toy, Julia Labin, Catherine Yorko, Peter Abdallah, Joshua Henry, Kayla Ray, Donald Drawbaugh, Connor Faust, Danielle Rodak, Shane Haycox, Joseph Greaves, Matthew Perry, Michael Latour, Willard Wilkinson V, Jason Stojanovic, Maria Rojas Chacon, Michael Loff, Tara Bolish, Jason Zhang, Caitlin McDonough, Maria Hudak, Adil Putap Singh Virk, Augusti Mungaya, Matthew Yo, Daniel Nasirullah, Joseph Ulsh, Emily Dottie, Salim bin Goth, Oluwasanmi Ario, Amanda Crane, Saria Ricalde Phillips, Julia Haurer, Michelle DeCall, Jessica Stoltz, Yu Yu, Shu Jae Gong, Sengwoo Jung, Sean Walsh, Madison Menel, Andrew Frisch, Justine Khalil, Grant Newman, Emily Venetta, Lauren Grease, Michael Peck, Ahmad Shahir Nedrabi, Mridullah Menin, Claire Washabaugh, Elizabeth Roach, Claire Moira McHugh, Sarah Chomas, Matthew Curry, Nailesh Frings, Thomas Donnelly Jr., Jacob Clemmer, Michael Aksu, Hannah English, Rebecca Moshier, Miranda Brecka, Samantha Kaiser, Megan Luxick, Ryan Means, Samantha Berry, John Spagnola, Sakdia Mohammed, Anika Rimu, Meryl Augustin, Mariam Felemban.
Please join me in recognizing all of the biomedical engineering graduates. I now call on Dr. Philip Savage, Department Head of Chemical Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in that major.
Representing chemical engineering is Student Marshal Drew Carson, escorted by Faculty Marshal Manish Kumar, Associate Professor of Chemical Engineering. Drew is the son of David and Linda Carson of Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Drew participated in research that involved the fabrication of biomimetic membranes that maintain high permeability and selectivity in filtration. He had the opportunity to present his research at the National Conference for the American Institute of Chemical Engineers in October. Following graduation, Drew will pursue a graduate degree in chemical and biomolecular engineering at Princeton University. Congratulations, Drew.
Also receiving degrees in chemical engineering are Andrew Demaris, Seth Dugan, Arthur DeChamps, Addison Fowler, William Grisales, Etienne Utiger, Noah Willis, Marina Trager, Rachel Picnic, Christine Lapsansky, Morgan McCormick, Sarah Maslakowski, Meredith Roan, Hun Trun, Balin Bench, Marissa Miller, Kaylee Ermine, Zachary Zaidonik, Brendan Sawadsky, Everett Zofchak, Elizabeth Casserly, Eric Ammerman, Joshua Como, William Beam, David Hoying, Navanaith Gangatharan, Sarah Dent, Amanda Stutzman, Kristen Coes, Nicholas Lazario, Burke Beauregard, Indira Saifuddin, Brandon Leidy, Joshua Pellis, Scott Cicero, Vincent Kuchira, Alan Smith, Jesse Mock, Alex Kessler, Justin Nogel, Julia Sherwin, John Kaplan, Catherine Hauser, Regina Incarnato, Joseph Stinciano, Carolina Carlton, Evan Hennessy, Michael Gill, Taylor Pollock, Yushuan Dai, Oluwatosin Ojulari, Brian Kim, Elizabeth Greenwood Chikotis, Christopher Solis, Gregorius Pradipta, Jay Patel, Chandler Thomas, Philip Shostak, Daniel Sullivan, Jack Shaheen, Robert Dorosky, Renee Catalano, Courtney Poorman, Spencer Wallace, Timothy Marco, Maya Carl, Mason Yount, Christian Lopez, Thomas Jaramillo Jr., Eric Dennison, James Stoltis, Dylan Wires, Megan Ingalls, Hunter Davey, Alec Altman, Haewon Song, Jae-wook Lee, Dongjo Lee, George Fidel, Frank Gentili, Rosemary Campbell, Siddharth Sharma, Marjorie Sao, Margaret Gross, Emma Hedrick, Emily Rapp, Amanda Bailey, Kieran Dempsey, Lucas Dubiak, Elena Hersig, Tanner Serbinovich, Noah Tutor, Samuel Stasko, Alex Ondo, Benjamin Hitch, Emily Helm, Taylor Urbansik, Emily Zakevich, Zachary Germer, Seth Thomas, Hunter Miller, Blaine Whistler, Robert Romaine Jr., Austin Alcantara, Alexander Weisbeck, Matthew Crane, Abram Moshkovitz Sar Shalom, Rosa Blanca Garcia, Lauren Blanksley, Michael Horn, Yassin Ahmad Alawadi, Isabel Burgos, Eric Zimmerer, Eugene Zakharov, Zachary Salzberger, Hartini Margot, Aneri Kinjul Bakshi, Mohammed Shafiq Ahmad, Hidayah A. Sukor, Huda A. Sukor, Scott Stussel, Kaylee Lazaroff, Rachel Stiller, Neil Graham, Abhishek Pachlal, John Matthew Santos, Moise Isaji, Grady Weinheimer, Michael White Jr., Anthony Callow, Scott Schneider, Dhruv Rowe, William Buchanan, Mohammed Nasser Al-Blushi, Abdullah Ahmed Alahwadi, Ahmad Al-Suwaidi, Ahmad Mohammed Al-Kubaisi, Ahmed Saleh, Patrick DeMarco, Christopher Bonsell, Mingrui Xu, Chen Liu, Zekun Li, Yisheng Tsai, Yifei Huang, Miaqi Zhang, Huran Wang, Jerry Wang, Andrew Panek IV, Laith Yusuf, Christian Thomason, Jeremy Wilson, James Brophy, Connor Leahy, James Gallagher, Kyle King, Anthony Cassay.
Please join me in recognizing all of the chemical engineering graduates. I now call upon Dr. Patrick Fox, Department Head of Civil and Environmental Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in civil engineering.
Representing civil engineering is Student Marshal Alexis Guelco, escorted by Faculty Marshal Shelley Stoffels, Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Alexis is the daughter of Ed and Denise Guelco of New Tripoli, Pennsylvania. While at Penn State, she completed internships at Johnson, Mirmiran and Thompson, the Pittick Company, and Gannett Fleming, where she performed various tasks, including lot layout, grading, erosion control, and construction observation of geotechnical structures. In addition to her undergraduate degree, Alexis will be receiving a Master of Science in Civil Engineering through the Integrated Undergraduate-Graduate Program. Following graduation, Alexis will join Gannett Fleming as a geotechnical engineer. Congratulations, Alexis.
Also receiving degrees in civil engineering are Casimir Wolanin Jr., Francis Rambala III, Nicholas Pirelli, Ryan Rio, Ryan Schulte, Alexander Afanasyenikov, Matthew Lin, Frank Ross III, Tomas Quintero Samat, Matthew Moreno, Christopher Tryanovsky, Bailey Dixon, Kayla Worth, Laura Yo, Theodora Breo, Sarah Adsit, Yingtia Huang, Tia Ren, Ricardo Munoz Rojas, Gabriel Ferrari, Oscar Ajip, Claire Gervino, Nathan Laubum, Elizabeth DeMarshall, Brian Moon, Colin Camp, Grace Daigle, Joshua Killian, Derek Olibaugh, Ryan Harp, Jamie Matiak, Luke Lewandowski, Robert Phillips IV, Caitlin Caldwell, Corey Lowball, Brady Meyer, Sydney Page, Jonathan Santos, Nikolaus Schauner, Nicholas Sabalovich, Huang Chao, Alexandra Paisano, Pedro Hachi Caro, Jose Bisono Toru, Felix Hermida Purcell, Maria Diaz Hernandez, Jessica Leah Huff, Gitao Kimani, Dominic Falcone, Nicholas Lashinsky, Michael Reisner, William Kwan, Glenn Berwicki Jr., Gabriel Shope, Weston Homa, Brandon Smith, Joshua Allen, Brandon Potkull, Morgan Rischel, Victoria Lee Schwartz, Anthony Skorzinski, Nicholas Mateo, Ahmed Al-Hosni, Rayan Al-Mutawu, Khalifa Al-Shaiji, Laili Al-Hazim, Austin Woishanar McDonald, James Kalowski, Mohammed Tarek Kanan, Benjamin Herbay, Brandon Smith, Kevin Yeesh, Austin Veers, David Hutchinson, Andrew Gibbons, Zachary Martin, Efrain Guzman, Seth Kornman, Katrina Coppola, Rebecca Olnenanik, Matthew McCarthy, Dominic Kara, Austin Holthouse, Tyler Freed, Raymond Alexander III, Edward Prime, Alexander Murphy, Jeremy Herman, James Morris, Zachary Rupert, Christopher Mueller, Jigju Lee, Olivia Veronica Rockwell, Matthew Weschler, Jesse Cunningham, Marissa Coltabaugh, Jacob Ryko, Eric Siri, Devin Patton, Anthony Caruso, Brandon Brown, Galen Lehman, Stephen Arechabala, Justin Obensky, Jamie Cunningham, Samantha Bowie, Megan Morris, Robert Wouterts, Robert Prechtel, Aaron Porter, Jack Iffert, Nicholas Beyer, Benjamin Huzzard, Matthew Madry, Scott Altman, Jason Zachary Miller, Ariana Vetrano, Patrick Macaulay, Nicole Dato, Marcella Capuco, Kyle Akeley, Casey Mrazek, Joe Bonney, Samuel Schleicher, Frederick Wolf, Adam Burkholder, Matthew Miller, John Cypress, Cody Exley, Sonny Albright, Daniel Barnett, Christopher Barnish, Randy Leidig, James Pritz, Ian Campbell, Sarah Freed, Anastasia Schechter, Samantha Myers, Diego Martinez, Christopher Steeb, Benjamin Myers, Catherine Waltz, Mechit Kavan, Matthew Daywalt, Eric Kaminsky, Kobe Arnold, Mitchell Morse, Nicholas Laser.
Please join me in recognizing all of the civil engineering graduates. I would now like to recognize Dr. Thomas Laporta, Director of the School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. Unfortunately, Dr. Laporta is unable to be here this evening, but sends his congratulations to the students graduating with degrees in computer science, computer engineering, data sciences, and electrical engineering. I now call on Dr. Chita Das, Department Head of Computer Science and Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in computer engineering, computer science, and data sciences.
Representing computer engineering is student Marshall Dan Hoffman, escorted by faculty Marshall Martin Fuhrer, professor of computer science and engineering. Dan is the son of Alex and Marina Hoffman of Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania. Dan participated in the combinatorics and algorithms for real problems in research experience for undergraduates at University of Maryland during the summer of 2018. The program is designed to bridge the gap between theory and other disciplines in computer science. Following graduation, Dan will pursue a graduate degree in computer science. Congratulations.
Also receiving degrees in computer engineering are Nicholas Scavello Jr., Ahmed Abu, Shreyansh Vyash, Shreyas Sane, Raj Pokriel, Matthew Heilman, Alex Paishevsky, Ryan Mia, Evan Harding, Amar Zuberi, Stephen Davis, Corey Forsyth, Maxwell Wireman, Marina San Miguel, Gabriel Cervei, Jonathan Larish, Sheena Beck, Gabrielle Tolata, Alec Schmitz, Matthew Wimfermer, Derek Andreassi, Gregory Peter II, Krishna Shankar, Jichang Liu, Aman Gola, Raghav Gupta, Adita Solanki, Tanay Mehta, Param Dave, Sanjeev Ramanan, Tolulope Ajayi, Kaido Lin, Joshua Attig, Brandon Wazalek. Andrew Kirkwood. Brandon Love. Liam Ressler. Christian Lim. Bradley Lin. Mihir Patil. Warren Wong. Matthew Ludwig. Boris Feng. Abdelmalak Omar. Ryan Malone. Aaron Safran. Reno Zafina. Matthew Miller. Abigail Tarosky. William Yoshida. Patrick Sweeney. Anan Liu.
Please join me in recognizing all of the computer engineering graduates.
Representing computer science is student Marshall Rosalie Shores, escorted by faculty Marshall Yanlin Wang, lecturer in computer science and engineering. Rosalie is the daughter of Todd Shores and Maggie Peacock of State College, Pennsylvania. While at Penn State, Rosalie completed an internship with Newton, where she refactored the content management system to support new content types, and at Google, where she integrated a new feature into the YouTube search backend. Rosalie's second major is in biochemistry and molecular biology. She won the Barry Goldwater Scholarship for her research in computational biology. Following graduation, she will pursue a graduate degree in biomedical informatics at Stanford University. Congratulations.
Also receiving degrees in computer science are Seng-Ju Kim, Chan-Sol Kang, Emilio Ramos Monsalvo, Jacqueline Lee, Junwo Seo, Hao Huan Meng, Hao Li, Jilan Zhang, Hongnan Wang, Kyle Spencer, Keegan Harris, Matthew Bunky, Tyler Blankenship, Matthew Chibala, Nathaniel Stein, Yimin Zhao, Frank Bachia, Amber Graham, Nicholas Duffner, Jianing Liu, Shuwen Wu, Jiming Wang, Hanyi Zhang, Yongche Yu, Yu Wang, Kichen Hu, Xuting Yuan, Yuan Chu, Jonathan Reddy, Artemi Galkin, Faith Ahmed, Olivia Davis, Anna Gajilia, Keegan Killen, Castle Leonard, Yu Wu, Tei Yao Wang, Yang Fen Tu, Yuchen Tsung, John Cunningham, Vitaly Shendenko, Nicholas Puglisi, Rohan Patel, Zachary Jancy, Benjamin Gibson, In Young Lee, Yi Wang, Hong Yu, Jiachen Wang, Annie Pass, Emily Rothner, Christian Picafazzi, Coleman Slane, Rishab Gulati, Jursahej Gandyok, Rupin Talreja, Zachary Stefanik, Wei Qing Liu, Shi-Chun Liu, Colin Emery, Jonathan Liu, Pratik Chandra, Ayush Amin, Vraj Patel, Nicholas Menendez, Kari Ross, Nihar Gudiseva, Sui Long Lo, Kyle Zhong, Matthew Antonadvaj, Jacob Simbalista, Daniel Marchek, Samuel Fox, Gerard Puglisi, Bhaskar Naishadam, Rikesh Sharma, Jason Ling, John Hernley, Saghar Singh, Adit Rai, Mingtuo Dai, Sean Blessington, David Inman, William Gonapro, Maxwell Johnston, Shane Kramer, Eric Wineland, Owen Moret, Ryan Anderson, Mason Albright, Dylan Dobler, Patrick O'Connor, Daniel Patterson, Logan Stack, Joseph McDonald, Subham Goyal, Forrest Hunter, Eric Wang, Jordan Duhart, John Alessi, Alexander Bruton, Julianne Heinzman, Moshin Ali, Leah Ekman, Ahman Srivastav, Umish Bhatt, Ishan Ranpura, Vraj Shah, Vishal Kinimulki, Tejus Kulkarni, Zhencho Chu, Liam McFalls, John Kinsey, Bruhat Musnuru, Rakshith Rayudu, Sonu Chopra, Vincent Liu, Pranav Jain, Christian Vasquez, Allison Tongkom, Andy Luo, Marie Hutflus, Shumeng Zhong, Brian Mata, Shen Liu, Xingchuan Zhao, Lingwei Wu, Difei Sun, Yicheng Wang, Huan Wu, Xinchuan Liu, Mingyu Ma, Jinghao Fan, Yuan Ren, Rongxi Wang.
Please join me in recognizing all of the computer science graduates.
Representing data sciences is student Marshal Jordan Reed, escorted by faculty Marshal Mehrad Mahadevi, assistant professor of computer science and engineering. Jordan is the son of Timothy and Alison Reed of Collegeville, Pennsylvania. Jordan completed 2 internships at Lockheed Martin, working as a full-stack engineer. He is also earned a minor in French and is a Leonard Scholar. Following graduation, Jordan will work at Lockheed Martin as a software engineer. Congratulations.
Also receiving degrees in data science are Luwei Lei, Tomoki Takasawa, Sunchit Goyal, Brian Nguyen.
Please join me in recognizing all of the data science graduates. I now call on Dr. Kaltegan Aydin, Department Head of Electrical Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in that major.
Representing electrical engineering is Student Marshal Erica Murphy, escorted by Faculty Marshal Weihua Guan, Assistant Professor in Electrical Engineering. Erica is the daughter of Drew and Liz Murphy of Havertown, Pennsylvania. While at Penn State, Erica completed 2 internships, one at Boeing Defense, Space and Security, performing analysis for an antenna for a national defense application, and GE Transportation, developing an audio alarm application for a train control system. Her extracurricular activities included the Women in Engineering program and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. She also served as a College of Engineering ambassador. Following graduation, Erica will join Boeing as an electrical engineer in the company's Engineering Career Foundation program. Congratulations, Erica.
Also receiving degrees in electrical engineering are Eric Arena Jr., Chris Dong Hyun Kim, Ichi Wu, Yibang Shao, Shao Chung, Dan Kralik, Dries Bahajek, Myra Oyola, Daniel Pfaff, Mark Barron, James Harris, Bilal Ahmed, Daniel Wiesner, Andrew Abbott, Thomas McLean, Michael Wold, Syed Sahir Ahmed, Alexander Clark, Ryan Breen, Minam Ahmed, Samuel Sanetsky, Dana Armstrong, Ruyang Luo, Yida Wan, Junrui Pan, Shenchen Zhu, Pedro Weiss, Abhinav Dharmaya, Justin McNabb, Anan Adnan, Dominic Joshua Morris, Stephen Zacher, Vivek Senjalia, Brianna Lengel Klink, Jai Chen Sun, Zulhimi Omar, Ferris Ghazali, Brennan Norton, Michael Lamond, Chet Manship, Jeffrey Zuber, Amir Amiri, Mohammed El Senbati, Taylor Baum, Daniel Spillane, Cullen Kaschalk, Jungchen Ma, Kei Yun, Timothy Vu, Alexandra Feldbauer, David Peralta, Yu Young Fan, Yu Hee Gao, Zhaofan Mu, Lei Zhang, Yulu Wang, Bo Liu, Yucheng Pei, Shao Zhang, Hao Qing, Shenglong Zhan, Mark Gundling, Kara Daly, Brian Nguyen, Michael Sipos, Yuhao Feng, Ri Chao Bai, Kayla Badamo, John Guglielmi, Andrew Rapisky, Camden Nace, Robert Yan, Tanner Snedeker, Nicholas Munson, Sean McMaster, Morgan Paul, Charles Moran, Mark Kearney, Zhongxian Wei, Naisong Chen, Nicholas Tichis, Garrett Rabin, Justin Dillman, Haekwon Son, Jacob Nishadka, Jacob Michio, Zachary Zellhart, Joshua Dijon, Mark Boudreau, Daniel Ray, Lee Estep, Mert Soikan, Khalid Al-Khatib, Long Fun, Benjamin Henderson, Ju Ko, Thomas Zimmerman, Sushan Bohmik, Joshua Davidson, Phillips Dairo, Shaker Mursalin, Carl Gilardi, Joseph Connolly Jr., Tyler Brown, Nathan Berkey, Ryan Chiskevich, William Tang, Xiaodong Huo, Nico Bernadette, Tung Nguyen, Theodore Prince, Jacob Jabrowski, Matthew Spear, Ryan Shapanik, Yash Makecha, Nathan Wagman, Quinn Tron, Justin Paul Andre Sinclair.
Please join me in recognizing all of the electrical engineers. I now call on Dr. Judith Todd, Department Head of Engineering Science and Mechanics, to greet the recipients of degrees in engineering science.
Representing engineering science is Student Marshal William Barker, escorted by Faculty Marshal Lucas Passmore, Assistant Professor in Engineering Science and Mechanics. William is the son of Raymond and Marnie Baker of Warminster, Pennsylvania. William participated in a wide variety of research projects, including work in biomechanics, computer simulation, semiconductor materials physics, and memory technology. Following graduation, William will remain at Penn State to pursue a graduate degree in engineering science and mechanics. Congratulations, William.
Also receiving degrees in engineering science are Garrett Skinner, Nathaniel Donaher, Joseph Blau, Travis Gear, Robert Carrier, Matthew McPherson, Madison Geisel, Michaela Caruso, Ryan Kelly, Daniel Jackson, Vito Palmieri, Greg Oway, Noah Brous, Thomas Schranghammer, Kieran Judd, Rahul Pendurthi, David Trexler, Ferris Arnous, Rutu Raj Patil.
Please join me in recognizing all the engineering science graduates. I now call on Dr. Janice Trapani, Department Head of Industrial and Manufacturing Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in industrial engineering.
Representing industrial engineering is Student Marshal Juan Gomez Lorente, escorted by Faculty Marshal Hui Yang, Associate Professor of Industrial Manufacturing Engineering. Juan is the son of Jorge Sanchez and Beatriz Boyer of Madrid, Spain. While at Penn State, Juan has participated in research projects with the Complex Systems Monitoring, Modeling, and Controls Lab. He completed 2 internships at PricewaterhouseCoopers on the strategy consulting team, where he focused on change management and the revenue cycle in the healthcare industry. Following graduation, Juan will join PricewaterhouseCoopers as an associate. Congratulations, Juan.
Also receiving degrees in industrial engineering are Alexandra Seises, Sophia Dyke, Elena Picula, Rebecca Bolton, Kelsey Powers, Omar Abdelghani, Shiv Chudhari, Alberto Martinez, Ryan Dodds, Paul Beringer III, Marc-Antoine Lefebvre, Jake Nieschmidt, Jacqueline Kamenicki, Bradley Hensler, Stephen Von Buren, Jeffrey Aldrich, Austin Applequist, Cody Heaton, Madeline Woody, Matthew Sprouse, Jacob Worcester, Sung Wook Yang, Matteo Maratti, Murat Kaya, Daniel Gatti, Quan Yao Wang, Abdullah Alanizi, Ahab Suleiman, John McKenna, Jessica McNally, Brianna McGovern, Catherine Heininger, Sunny Devendran, Namya Malhotra, Shane McGowan, Lucas Smugar, Shannon McFalls, Wei-Yu Wong, Peter Han III, Connor Bellows, Darian Jim, Chris Shethia, Labib Nazair, Stephen Richards, Olivia Connors, Adrian Carbone, Mary Papandreous, Jessica Buchanan, Carolyn Regal, Dominic DeCinti, Liam Corrigan, Austin Shore, David Hendricks, Stephen Min, Kara Perotti, Alexander LaRusso, Andrew Phoebe, Jacob Wheeler, Olivia Tillis, Sabria Hokie, Sierra Lawrence, Mengchao Zhang, Wengqi Wu, Bo Wei Han, Li Chen Zheng, Xiaozhen Zhou, Karho Li, Ruchi Patel, Zaid Kobain, Justin Hopp, Kara Nardi, Joseph Narsing, Amanda Welch, Ashley Morell, Melitza Kosic, Sophia Vincent, Sally Stowe, Erica Vogt, Abigail Putter, Chaley Miller, Jennifer Garrison, Raymond Yang, Aditya Govandi, Amirul Firdaus Ismail, David Catano, Salubu Mundra, Amal Al-Sena, Hamza Fadil, Ramzi Haram, Yilin Yang, Haigang Yao, Yidan Wang, Yijin Wang, Chuyun Guan, Chuangbo Shu, Tomas Alonso Valverde, Meet Sagparia. Patricia Lucerna. Krista Shaw. Rebecca Peachy. Anna French. Erin Meyer. Adam Osborne. Dante Bizarre. Bennett Brooks. Nicholas Seymour. Hunter Stuyvesant. Dennis Bonner. Alexander O'Neill. Matthew Allroots. Ashish Nair. Connor Cantalamessa. Jacob Tyre. Victor Liu. Megan Schwartz. Elena Gonzalez Rossi Mercina. Alejandra Ayala Menechai. Alejandra Espenizota Soto. Jonathan Gunslea Benjamin. Abraham Cohen Saporta. Juan Guijod Grossman. Gabriel DiBiase. Fernando Arasque Quiros. Aaron Shepard. Maggie Hua. Elijah Ray. Piadesh Wong Siriku. Eduardo Valiente Bonetti. Manuel Valdez Marenanzini. Brady Bobbitt. Emily Brandstetter. Yeshwanth Nimagada. Sonalika Yera. Emily Nix. Elizabeth Wang. Bridget Johnson. Gina Siriani. Tyler Corbo. Brian Brosnan. Jongwoo Kong. Burke Uris.
Please join me in recognizing all of the industrial engineering graduates. I now call on Dr. Karen Tolley, Department Head of Mechanical and Nuclear Engineering, to greet the recipients of degrees in those majors.
Representing Mechanical Engineering is Student Marshal Kimberly Hunt, escorted by Faculty Marshal Eric Marsh, the Glenn Professor of Engineering Education. Kimberly is the daughter of Craig and Linda Hunt of Westchester, Pennsylvania. Kimberly was a member of the Penn State Unmanned Aerial Systems Team, an interdisciplinary student group focused on the design, construction, and flight of unmanned aerial vehicles. Kimberly served as the aeromechanical co-lead for the team. Following graduation, she will join Boeing as a mechanical engineer. Congratulations, Kimberly.
Also receiving degrees in mechanical engineering are Anthony Andelic, Nathan Smith, Joshua Lutton, Sean Emmerich, Taylor Bedford, Logan Schuler, Abigail Welch, Jeanette Bender, Samantha Bonner, Chun Cheng, Sarah Carper, Logan Fries, Stephanie Mitchell, Aidan Cronin, Alexander Williams, Shane Strawley, Anthony Lehman, Austin Kiker, Matthew Carreras, Robert Napoli, Stephen Joshua Canning, Nigia Aisha Clark, Karthikeyan Mohan, Ani Rahman Halim, Shaspreet Kaur, Mohammed Hajib Ali, Gary Pepper, Varun Agarwal, Samuel Rippey, Dennis Fusella, Blake Konstantakis, Austin Walsh, Stephen Tragesser, Jared Hinkle, Robert McDonald, Zachary Schober Fernbach, Brett Farley, Haihan Zhao, Ningguan Li, Shashank Shiva, Yash Lalwil Lilwa, Joseph Dashler Jr., Justin Williamson, Jack Egan, Andrew Vink, Francisco Polo Salinas Fiesco, Patrick Clemens, Sung Ho Kim, Daniel Lovey, Abhinit Ashnish Kotari, Aditya Akole, Huseva Patanwala, Jonathan Nick, Emil Berbikoff III, Evan Dewald, Peter Jackson, Sean Connolly, Alexander Hanks, Timothy Lukens, Giuliano Damiano, Devin Heston, Mitchell Bone, Roshi Wong, Haitang Lu, Nitis Chantarawong, Pei Chan, Michael Horn, Eli Goff, Kevin Shuey, Nicholas Lewis, Corey Palmer, Ibrahim Maheri, Eric Lippert, Brandon Nicholas, Andrew Kolash, Dylan Snyder, Jose Colon Garcia, Justin Gorsuch, Melissa Martin, Matthew Staniszewski, Walter Ortiz, Lawrence Confer, Luke Vutura, Pei Chung Tong, Ryan Kane, Gandhar Alamer, Abdullah Jairak, Adam Ball, Dimitri Petrarchus, Theodore Rohrbach, Matthew Jarema, Nicholas Larimer, Matthew Graham, Alexander Weaver, Robert Hammond, Christopher Vidich. Kashan Nazim. Walker Smith. Asa Ahmed Al-Ali. Rashed Mohammed Al-Makdahi. Khalifa Al-Suwaidi. Toyab Sabri. Mohammed Rida Koraichi. Brendan Kelly. Brady Mason. Jared Wolf. William Kurtz. Jonathan Hall. Thomas Landy. Olivia Sekulich. Emily Sun. Cristian Moreno Maradiaga. Austin Felter. Joshua Stroup. Bryce Mullen. Jared Torres. Michael Matza. Seamus McFadden. Daniel Jepp. Ryan Norton. Elijah Lazar. Justin Vagonis. Michael Tranquil. Christian Murphy. Lucas Lopez. Kyle Saul. Michael McHugh. Zachary Yeager. Jesse Bregman. Michelle Totillo. Eric Yen. Yigit John Chomlek. Nicholas Esposito. Adam Prue. Garrett Zito. Hannah Feldstein. Daniel Moore. Carolyn Orth. Elizabeth Gardner. Daniel Sitch. Dipanshu Maheshwari. Rebecca Denby. Christopher Megan. Daniel Hingston. Vanessa Stieber. Carly Perose. Gabriel Labella. Matthew Humes. Andrew Weingold. Jarrett John. Austin Lubus. John Mattiola. Dean Hansen. Seth Goldberg. Robert Anna. Nicholas Carr. Ryan Panza. Jesse Eisenberg. Christopher Weldy. Erica Rimmel. Rachel Sternberg. Julia Sternberg. Richard Tischler. Michael Scavello II. Ryan Schupp. Dylan Steckler. Gerald Colleton. Yu Chun Cheng. Evan DiBiase. Nicholas Mayen. Dustin Torgerson. Digjay Das. Anthony Nguyen. Toby McGuire. Colton Lehue. Kyle Himes. Evan Toney. Paul Hughes. Andre Lopez Sicafi. Andres Idrovo. Eric Salerno Jr. Joshua Rosato. Jason Baldwin. Christoph Mariko. John Wilson. Stephen Chen. Matthias Hagel. Joseph Cefalo. Benjamin Townsend. Jacob Lapiana. Prashant Boma Reddy. Paul Hammer. Brandon Uzinski. Peng Chen. Richard Hollingshead. Brandon LaRouque. Shakti Shuresh. Logan Caswell. Robert Svek. Calvin Luckenbaugh. Nathaniel Stauffer. Scott Bartkowiak. Matthew Eachus. Justin Ivak. Michael Nguyen. Ian Garcia. Luke Hackman. Brian Wentz. Patrick Connolly. Judy Chen. Xinjie Chen. Lingwei Hu. Xincheng Zhang. Wengshuan Zhang. Yufeng Wu. Gift Wang. Wesley Yutko. Mohammed Nazmi Honis Mohammed Faisal. Noor Adila Al-Junid. Nur Farahim Jesni. Chi-Chung Liu. Brian Block. Chi-Fon Liu. Kyle Medeo. Hannah McGinley. Andrew Pohl. Maxim Peshersky. Chin-Wei Wu. Ava Wu Wu. Zachary Michaels. Keith Reese. Brian Plunkett. Francisco Di Coco. Michael Fedorchek. Joseph Fariz. Zachary Mowell. Danielle Mason. Ryan Andes. Daniel Beckman. Jacqueline Troutman. Courtney Birkin. Adam Hosher. Nicholas Gasparovich. Jae Hoi Hu. Asher Odner. Dalton Naylor. Rajat Soni. Colin Krauto. Dominic Preet. Xiao Cho Chen.
Please join me in recognizing all the mechanical engineering graduates.
Representing nuclear engineering is Student Marshal Nicholas Grency, escorted by Faculty Marshal William Walters, Assistant Professor of Nuclear Engineering. Nicholas is the son of Anthony and Brenda Grency of Butler, Pennsylvania. While at Penn State, he completed an internship at Sierra Nevada Corporation executing engineering change orders as a member of the aircraft structures team. Following graduation, Nicholas will pursue a graduate degree in nuclear engineering at Penn State. Congratulations, Nicholas.
Also receiving degrees in nuclear engineering are Joseph Roach, Ashvath Rajmohan, Blake Sweeney, Robert Johns III, Michael Arankis, William Stewart III, Sarah Steele, Rami Morsi, Dominic Ferlenza, Abdullah El Sayed El Hawari, Morgan Hilberer, Emily Humes, Carrie Smolik, Brandon Druzbaski, Leo Buffalini, Andrew Antolnik, Kyle Reed, Jonathan Neal, John Dember II, Cody Bariz, Bashar Omar, Po Ying Chang, Mohammed Caleb, Morgan Harrison, Joshua Scholar, Justin Taminga, Rin Choi, Michael Hoschel, Jr.
That is it.
Please join me in recognizing all of the nuclear engineers. Once again, please join me in recognizing accomplishments of all these new engineering graduates. This concludes the conferring of our baccalaureate degrees. As a land-grant institution, we are chartered to offer the opportunity for training in the military service. And at Penn State, we have programs in the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. Representing the joint services today is Captain Young, Professor of Naval Science.
Will all graduates of the Pennsylvania State University Reserve Officer Training Corps please rise and remain standing? Dr. Jones and Dean Schwartz, it is a privilege for me to present our graduates of the Reserve Officer Training Corps as officers who will serve in our armed forces.
On behalf of the Pennsylvania State University, I congratulate each of you. Thank you, and you may be seated.
The representative of these candidates is Ensign Christian Stout, who has earned a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Christian is the son of Bill and Lindy Stout of Imperial, Pennsylvania. In addition to his engineering studies, he conducted submarine warfare training aboard the fast attack submarine USS Pasadena and completed aviation training aboard the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson, flying H-60 helicopters. In his final semester, he served as the NROTC Battalion Executive Officer, leading 180 of his fellow midshipmen. Following graduation, Christian will report to Pensacola, Florida, where he will attend flight school to become a Navy pilot. Congratulations, Christian.
Thank you, Captain Young and Dr. Jones. As the largest unified multi-campus university in the country, Penn State offers to the citizens of the Commonwealth at 19 locations throughout Pennsylvania the first 2 years of the baccalaureate program, as well as several associate degree programs. The engineering technology graduates and surveying engineering graduates are being recognized at commencement exercises held at the campuses which they attend. This concludes the awarding of degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you take note in your programs where graduates' names are listed for recognition of those with meritorious achievement. The students who are identified with an asterisk following their names are graduating in the top 12% of their class. This evening, students graduating summa cum laude are wearing a blue and white cord. Students graduating magna cum laude are wearing a blue cord, and students graduating cum laude are wearing a white cord. Will those graduating with summa cum laude, magna cum laude, please rise? You have our warmest congratulations on your scholastic achievements. You may sit. The graduates whose names are identified with a cap are Schreier Honors College scholars, and those in bold are engineering science honors. Would all honor students please rise? You may be seated. I now present Jane Rehusik Clampett, who will induct the new graduates into the Penn State Alumni Association. In her position as president of the Penn State Engineering Alumni Society, Ms. Clampett represents more than 100,000 engineering alumni, a number that now includes you. Jane earned a Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering in 1979 from Penn State. In addition to serving as an officer of the Penn State Engineering Alumni Society, Jane is a member of the Penn State Alumni Council, the Department of Chemical Engineering's Industrial and Professional Advisory Committee, and was a founding member of the Chemical Engineering Alumni Group. Ms. Clampett.
Thank you, Dr. Butler, and congratulations, graduates. The Penn State Alumni Association celebrates your success and welcomes you to a proud network of Penn State alumni. Your Alumni Association is powered by pride. More than 174,000 alumni and friends like you keep their connection to our world-class university strong through membership in the Penn State Alumni Association. Today, on behalf of the Alumni Association, I'm honored to share our graduation gift to you, a one-year free membership to the Penn State Alumni Association. Your membership keeps you in touch with Penn State and connects you with more than 300 geographically dispersed alumni chapters, groups, or societies. No matter where you live, what you've studied, which campus you attended, we have a group that matches your interests. After graduation, once you're settled, reach out to your local Penn State alumni chapter. Your Penn State family will be happy to hear from you. And in the coming years, when you visit University Park, we hope you'll stop by the alumni home on campus, the Hintz Family Alumni Center. And with that, we would ask our new graduates to please rise. Would all other Penn State alumni here today please rise as well? It gives me great pleasure to induct all graduating students of the Pennsylvania State University into the Penn State Alumni Association. Please be seated.
A representative group of faculty from the College of Engineering is attending the ceremony today. I ask them to rise. We thank you for the dedication and commitment you have demonstrated to provide deep and broad educational experiences for our students. Let's give our faculty a round of applause. You may now be seated. At this point, on behalf of the university and the class of 2019, I would like to pay special tribute to the parents, surrogate parents, spouses, partners, families, and friends of our graduates. Your support is greatly appreciated by everyone, including the students and the faculty of the university. Graduates, please rise, face your relatives and friends in the audience, and honor them one more time with a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us in singing the alma mater, led by Sean Toso. The words appear on the inside front cover of the program booklet. After we sing, you may be seated for the recessional of the platform party, the faculty and graduates. Graduates, for everyone's safety, after the alma mater, please be seated until all members of the platform party, faculty, and marshal have exited the floor. College marshals will then dismiss you by rows. And now, the alma mater.
For the glory of old state, for her founder strong and great, for the future that we wait, raise the song, raise